Brought to you by the author who seems unable to write about anything but misbehaving children, following his far more recognized and far less controversial Adventures of Tom Sawyer, the story about a 13-year-old friend of Tom Sawyer, way too young to be doing any of the stuff in this book, and a middle-aged runaway slave going through some sort of spiritual enlightenment / midlife crisis, and their scandalous friendship almost as risky as the raft that carries them hundreds of miles down the river. Huck is a boy who hates the life of classiness and manners he is forced into, but instead of talking about it or complaining like your average child, he runs away at night and pretends to be in a gang with some of his delusional friends in a cave. Huck also hates his alcoholic father Pop, but he doesn't have to worry about him anymore. Until he does. Pop comes home and is extremely jealous of his 13-year-old son's superior wealth and superior knowledge. Unable to handle the overwhelming jealousy, he kidnaps Huck and brings him to a cabin, assuming this will solve all of his problems. Instead, he gets pig blood all over his cabin. After Huck escapes, he finds Jim, a slave on Miss Watson's plantation on the island, and so begins the most controversial friendship of the 1800s. Then after a completely random floating house in the river, an even more random wrecked steamboat, a gang of robbers on said steamboat, some extremely thick and very dangerous fog, they fail pretty badly, and they take a wrong turn, continuing even deeper into the south. Then there's a southern family and their very aggressive neighborly feud, including some Romeo and Juliet allusions, a couple of lying con artists, plenty of cons done by them, some random guy's huge inheritance, deserting con artists, then the garbage con men selling Jim, Tom and Sawyer's family and aunt and uncle, self-proclaiming fates of hell, tearing up very revealing letters, a ridiculously over-the-top escape plan, some gunshots by a farmer, and Jim back in chains with Tom shot in the leg. You find out Jim was actually a free man for quite a while now. That entire journey seems very irrelevant, doesn't it? Starring Miss... Wait, what's her name again? A drunken, abusive father stereotype. Jim the slave, even though he actually isn't a slave for like 3/4 of the book, but whatever. The pretend duke, who is really the equivalent of human trash and his equally trash friend. The boy who causes more chaos than Tom Sawyer but has twice the morals and is named after a plant. And Tom Sawyer. The adventures of how many racial slurs can we fit into a single book?
If I must die from a home